Hello traders, this is Jim Comiskey coming to you live from Archer Daniels Midland Investor Services on Monday, March the 5th. We are coming up on 12 noon. Give you some color on the metals complex amongst other things. First of all, I'd like to respond to a couple of emails that I received before I get into the rant. A gentleman named David Casper with the newsunit.com. Again, the newsunit.com. David, give you a little shout out here. David actually sent me a song. You guys should maybe check this out if you get a chance. Go on his site. Gentleman wrote a song, the Silver Manipulation Blues. Run with it. It's kind of funny. Me and Tay were laughing about it earlier. By the way, shout out to Turd Ferguson. My hat's off, Turd. In fact, maybe I'll bring in that big yellow cowboy hat someday, huh? But again, good talking to you last week, and I look forward to doing a podcast with you. That'd be awesome. Okay, the metals. First of all, a rather quiet day. Gold is currently at 1703.90. That's down $5.90. Okay, 1694.40 the low, 1718 the high. Realistically, the high of the day in our time zone has been about 1709, 1710. Okay, silver is at 34.24, down 26 cents. 34.90 half high, 33.77 low. Again, pretty quiet. Now, for those of you who've been following me, you've heard me say this before, but since markets are basically composed of human beings, they'll exhibit human tendencies. After last week's bloodbath, what I guess people started to call the leap year bloodbath, the market's quiet. It's going sideways. We do have a lot of potential major market movement events this week. Your main headline would be Greece. Okay, they have to basically. I'll get into it. Okay. First of all, though, something that really bothered me here. This is a Citibank report that got a hold of. Citi is predicting gold at $2,400 an ounce in 2012. Okay, and $3,400 an ounce in the coming years. Can you be any more vague? Anyways, there's no question that, well, I've been kind of looking for this 2,400 move as well. I'm not going to put a time on it, but basically, I've seen various estimates, but 2250 to 2,400 would be the inflation-adjusted level from the 1990 gold spike, based on the Hunt Brothers shenanigans. Okay. But anyways, so that's where they come up with that level. And, you know, when Citi puts out a call like this, I'm almost really tempted to get short. Okay. But they do cite some good reasons. Okay. That's stuff that I've been talking about for years. Okay. But let's just go to the specifics. Okay. Gold was down 3.5% last week. Okay. That's the largest 1-week fall since DC 18. So technical damage continues in a breach of the 1688 level, the monthly low. If that is breached, gold could quickly fall to 16.5. Okay, they go on to cite CFTC commitment of traders data that's showing basically the big boys. Okay, the large specs. They increased their net longs. Well, it would automatically be 2 weeks ago, because that's the way this report is put together. But the big boys increased their long positions in gold by 7% from the week prior. Okay, more reasons to buy gold. Okay, the EU's second 3-year funding, Greece, and the surprise policy is easing by the Bank of Japan a few weeks ago has pressured the euro and the yen, making gold increasingly attractive to holders in those currencies. Okay. And the fact that interest rates are just outrageously low in a historical, level or manner. That makes reserve fiat currencies all that much more cheaper. So what becomes the currency that it has been for millennia? Okay, the metals. Okay, silver and gold. All right, continuing negative interest rates, blah, 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 currency debasement. Here's a good one. Okay, they go on to cite production of gold in Australia. All right, now the Aussies are number 2 in gold. Okay, production of gold in Australia slid again last year, despite gold fetching nominally higher nominal prices than ever before. According to gold experts, 264 tons of gold were produced last year, 2 tons less than in 2010. The 264 tons equates to 8.5 million ounces, and ensures that Australia remains a major player in gold, with only China producing more last year. Okay, by the way, the U.S. was third largest at 240 tons. All right, so again, Citibank is basically jumping on board the precious metal wagon. We'll see how this one turns out, but they might actually have a winning trade. By the way, someone had commented that it sounds like I'm whispering. I just don't want to disturb all the good folks that are around me. I'm still the new guy here, me and Teddy, and a couple other guys that came over. So, if you can't hear me, I apologize. Okay, I'm doing the best I can. Trust me. And the little tick-tock noises that you guys have heard, I just unplugged my time clock. But if you got issues like that, just go ahead. Get them out there. All right, I will address them. Warren Buffett. He's baffling State Street's Gulgasian. Gentleman, Christopher Gulgasian. He's a portfolio manager at State Street Global Advisors. Baffled by why Warren Buffett won't own gold. Well, what this gentleman goes on to say, well, he never owned Apple either, or Google. Granted, you want to call him the Oracle Omaha or whatever you want to call him. Okay. Personally, I think he isn't recommending gold because of the bloodbath he took in silver about 5 years ago. See, no one feels, everyone's the Oracle of Omaha, Granted, the guy has he had an incredible life. Now, you want to call him the investor of the year, the investor of the century, fine. Okay? He results speak for themselves. Okay, but the thing about Warren Buffett, all right, now he goes on to, you could take all the gold ever mined, and if melted together, it will form a cube about 68 feet per side. You can fondle the cube, but it won't respond. For the same amount of money that cube is worth, you could buy all the cropland in the U.S. and ExxonMobil 16 times over, okay? And you'd still have $1 trillion left over. Well, you know what? Me personally, I don't keep stacking because I like the color of gold and silver, and I'm in need of a lot of paperweights at home or at work, okay? You buy it to preserve your purchasing power, okay? Ron Paul, last week when he had Bernanke in front of his committee, held up a silver ounce piece, okay? And he reminded the Bernanke that when he took over the Federal Reserve in 2006, that ounce of silver bought like 4 gallons of gasoline, okay? Today it buys 10. And Bernanke didn't have a whole lot to say to that, as you're probably aware. How are we doing time-wise? Okay. I want to quickly touch on unemployment because we also have unemployment this week, and as you know, it's pretty much the granddaddy of statistics. Okay. Usually it's on the first Friday of the month, but since this was a leap year February, quirk of the calendar, it's on the second Friday of the month. So that's coming out this Friday. And a little early to get consensus guess, but I did read a lot of studies late last week with regards to GDP in particular. Painting the tapes at 1.7%. We're looking at maybe 50,000 jobs are increased. Okay, but this is from Fox News, okay? A gentleman named John Lott wrote this morning, as a matter of fact. What's the truth behind the unemployment numbers? The recent sudden drops in both initial claims and unemployment rates have generated a slew of positive news stories and lifted the White House's spirits. Fox News contributor and former Clinton pollster Doug Schoen even writes about the high-fiving in the White House. Okay, now me personally, if I was advising anybody in the White House, and I certainly wouldn't be, well, I certainly not, okay, the fact that the Bureau of Labor Statistics just arbitrarily, for lack of a better word, just basically says, okay, Mr. Smith, you're no longer looking for work. Therefore, you are no longer unemployed. Come on. So the reason that the rate has gone down so much in 2 months is because BLS, okay, has dropped the pool, the size of Americans wanting to work. All right, so naturally, you're going to have a decline in the rate if you've got a smaller pool. All right, I'll go back to it. But other numbers show a much weaker job market and economy. The average unemployment duration remains near its all-time high. Okay, hiring is stuck near record lows, and there are almost 3 million workers in part-time rather than full-time jobs. Further, GDP grew just 1.7% last quarter, and there are very few new companies being started. All right, now I'm going to get into the seasonal adjustment here. The BLSs, the BSBLS, as we used to call them, seasonal adjustments to the job numbers also make the labor market seem stronger than it actually is. Thank you, John. The big news this month was that seasonally adjusted payroll employment increased by 243,000 in January. Yet, and get this now, the unadjusted or actual raw totals, okay, showed a loss in the month of January, okay, of 2.7 million jobs. That's legit. Okay, I looked it up. But it's U6 is the actual unemployment rate, the jobs number, and conjunction with the rate with regards to people that, aren't being seasonally adjusted out of the workforce. Okay, now, to be fair, there's always a huge drop from December to January, okay, in those jobs, which supposedly accounts for their seasonally adjusting way up. All right, because of Christmas layoffs, part-time people that were hired for Christmas. Okay, but we'll see what the Friday's report brings. But again, early call, there's like a net increase of about 50,000 jobs. Whereas the boys in the White House, well, we'll see how this one gets cooked. But all right, I'm going to spare you the rest of the details here. Okay, but just like any poll, okay. Any survey, in my humble opinion, you can produce any result and any answer that you want. It all depends on how you word the questions. Okay, Bureau of Labor Statistics can produce any number they want on non-farm payrolls. It's a way of how they seasonally adjust, and they're not going to give the formula out to the public. They definitely won't. It's almost like throw a dart here, throw a dart there. Now they're not supposed to be politically, motivated. Manipulated, I don't know, whatever word you want to use there, but it is what it is. We'll see how this number paints the tapes. I want to talk a lot about Greece tomorrow. I know you're probably sick of hearing it, but mark your calendars, okay? March 9th and March 20th. We could potentially see a default on both those days, right on or just after both those days, out of Greece. That would be huge, okay? Why would it be huge? It's such a small nation. That nation has $1.3 trillion in debt. Okay, no chance of paying it back. But I'm going to leave that one for my next post. Okay. Again, thanks for coming back, guys. Good talking to you. Leave all the comments you'd like. What I'll do is I'll take like an extra post and I'll just read a lot of comments and respond to them directly on YouTube. If you'd like to call me at the desk here, my toll free is 888-935-7979. Or shoot me an email if you would. My email address is jim.comiskey@archerfinancials.com. Good talking to you. Good luck. Good trading. And
who is this?
We'll see how things develop in the markets this afternoon. Huh? Take care.